to our viewers from the UAE, and good morning to those who are joining us from the United States. My name is Iyad Zaidan, and I'll be your moderator for this event. The COVID-19 pandemic has driven everyone out of office buildings, universities, and church spaces. But we must find a way back in order to get someone's sense of normality. I'm pleased to say that Hamdan bin Muhammad Smart University has become the first university in the UAE and the Middle East region to earn a WELL Health Safety rating for facility operations and management. Carrying this hub for a better tomorrow, we have a set of prominent speakers here today. Please allow me to welcome His Excellency Dr. Mansour Al-Awar, Chancellor of Hamdan bin Muhammad Smart University, Paul Shila, CEO of Dellus and founder of the International Well Building Institute, IWBI, and Rachel Hhodgdon, the IWBI President and CEO. And we have as well Woteicha Saleem, the Vice President for Middle East and North Africa. To get the ball rolling, I will begin with Dr. Mansour Al-Awar. So, Your Excellency, HBMSU recently earned the WELL Health Safety Rating seal. What does this important achievement signify for the university? Can you share with us some of the aspects of health and safety protocols put in place on the campus?
Thank you, Iyad. First of all, I'm very glad to share this panel with Paul and Rachel, as well as Woteicha as well. A very good morning to all of you who are across the ocean, the other part of the world, and also a very good afternoon to the rest of colleagues who are joining us in this panel. First of all, let me clarify one important issue, actually. I think the United Arab Emirates, represented by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Vice President, the Prime Minister of United Arab Emirates, and the ruler of Dubai, in his efforts to, in the UAE strategic planning for having quality of life. That's the major, I think, step that the country has imposed on aspects of different walks of life. The second is the efforts in response to His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Muhammad Al Maktoum, the Crown Prince of Dubai, the President of Hamdan bin Muhammad Smart University, in to support the national environmental sustainability efforts. And the third, of course, is the entity, which is HBMSU itself. And I think having the rating safety that we had, it adds to the values that we believe in HBMSU. Our customers, who are the major customers, are the learners and the faculties and the staff, are well deserved to have an environment which health and safety becomes a priority. And especially also what is surrounding us with the pandemic, the era of pandemic for the last 14 months or so. It also requires that we keep our place safe and healthy in the same time. Of course, during the time of pandemic, it was very clear, I'm not talking about the lockdowns, but in the area that we came back to the building, it was very, very much indeed required to have the sanitizers, the distancing, the quality, not just only the quality in material things, but also the quality of air that people are breathing. So I think by having that rating and that shield that we had within the along with the IWBI, and especially this particular rating and seal would not have been done but by the evidence-based and the third party to be able to get you the quality seal that your building is quite safe and healthy. So I think that would be my views upon the significance of having this rating. And I think the second part of it, of course, we are so privileged at the same time. And I think 2 years back, when Matt was here, I think within the greeting His Highness Sheikh Hamdan in the graduation ceremony, it was very clear that our partnership with Delos overall, and now with IWBI, I think it will become very materializing into one of the things that we have rolled is the seal of well health safety rating. I think it's very significant for us. So I think it adds an overall, Iyad, in a nutshell, it adds an overall view to quality of life as a strategic point of United Arab Emirates government, and HBMSU is not an exception.
It's really commendable, Doctor, what HBMSU is doing to keep the morale of the community high. Coming to you, Mr. Paul, in order to gain a deeper understanding of the well health safety rating, could you please share with us why it's important for organizations such as Hamdan bin Muhammad Smart University to pursue it?
Well, thank you, Mr. Zaidan and Dr. Mansour. Pleasure to be with everybody. This is Paul Shalla, founder of the International Well Building Institute. The Well Health Safety Rating is a culmination of great work aggregated by world-renowned virologists, public health experts, building scientists, and draws from the full body of work of the well building standard. We at the International Well Building Institute have been merging the health sciences with the building sciences for many, many years, making sure that the medical experts and the real estate experts have collaborated to best understand how our indoor environments can be healthy for us, and nowadays put health safety at top of mind. This great achievement from this great university and platform is a testament of confidence, putting science, structure, form, validity, and most importantly, third-party verification, third-party validation that the operational and managerial and structural protocols of their indoor spaces have met the rigorous standards of the Well Health Safety Rating. It is of utmost importance nowadays, obviously, to make sure that not only is good practice in place, but that practice stands up to science and rigor and evidence and is validated from a third-party standpoint. So we commend the achievements and look forward to wonderful continued collaboration.
That's very interesting. Now my next question is to you, Rachel. Rachel, we understand that the Well Health Safety Seal is an evidence-based third-party verified rating. How does this health organization get back to their businesses with confidence?
Well, I think that the hard work is done. Earning the Well Health Safety Seal, as Paul mentioned, is absolutely an indication that you followed the latest and greatest science-based protocols that are updated regularly on the research that we understand today for getting back to business, for getting back to studying, for getting back to learning, for getting back to researching, so that all of the attendees, all of the students, the faculty, and the staff of HBMSU can come back with confidence, knowing that the university has taken their safety into account and really worked hard to make sure that all of the possible precautions are there so that when they see the seal on the outside of buildings for the university, they can feel safer going inside and focus on what's most important at a university, which is learning and studying.
Sounds good. Thank you, Rachel. I will now direct my question to you, Saleem. In your assessment, what makes the health and safety standards employed by HBMSU different compared to others?
Thank you, Mr. Yeah. Well, I think that's a great question, and I think there's a reason why the International Well Building Institute is positioned as the global authority on healthy buildings, and there's a reason why some of the major corporations and organizations globally are using IWBI certifications, standards, and/or ratings. We're in 82 countries today, across 1.5 billion square feet of trusted organizations that have been using these certifications and these programs. I really want to highlight here that the International Well Building Institute is not in the business of just selling certifications. The core focus of this movement is to really make sure that buildings and spaces are actually doing the right thing to ensure health, safety, and happiness of the people that spend the majority of their times inside these buildings. I will tell you, based on my experience with some of the organizations in the UAE that have achieved the Well Health Safety Rating, all the Well certifications, usually their teams are very proud of this achievement because of the amount of work and the efforts that they put in to actually achieve these programs. And I also think COVID-19 has actually helped people understand the difference of what IWBI brings to the table versus others. I mean, we have seen organizations that just came out overnight, claiming that they're health and wellness companies, making claims that they know solutions for COVID-19. We have all heard these companies previously, and I've worked with HBMSU's team, and they were pitched by multiple organizations that told them that they have these solutions. And I honestly think that this actually, these companies being out there help people and organizations understand the quality of what the International Well Building Institute brings to the table. When it comes to the Well Health Safety Rating for the university, this is really a comprehensive approach that focuses specifically on your facility operations and management. And as you know, this program was informed by the Well Building Standard. The IWBI Task Force, which was one of the largest in the world, that consists of over 600 public health experts, virologists, thought leaders, architects, the World Health Organization, CDC, and others that really helped inform this program. So this is really, as Paul and Rachel just mentioned, this is an evidence-based program, which again helps ensure that Hamdan bin Mohammed Smart University is putting the health and safety of their people as a priority.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you. We know that innovation is one of the core values of Hamdan bin Mohammed Smart University. This brings me to our next question, Dr. Mansour. What innovative approach did the university come up with to ensure the well-being of the community?
I think by having this rating is by itself is an innovation to this region as well, because as Mr. Saleem has alluded to, is the happiness is an index today for people being quite comfortably entering the buildings. And some of those buildings that we talk about, they are also our houses, our apartments, and where we live for most of our time, whether it is a house or whether it is a workplace. So I think that is important. The second thing that we are aiming at, our relationship with IWBI as well as Delos, is to further explore, because today, for instance, ladies and gentlemen, Paul and Rachel and Saleem, as you know that Hamdan bin Mohammed Smart University does not receive any kind of learners, i.e. students, into the campus, rather than the staff and the academicians who are managing the programs, managing the whole operations. So we are expecting that this exploration of further safety and health will be explored in the future research of our between HBMSU and IWBI. I think it is very important to maintain that level of confidence and safety and health while our learners are online in the cyberspace. So it's not just only the physical component that we are going to be dealing with in the future, but also in the cyberspace, how we maintain that particular evidence-based, and that our kids, our learners, our students are safeguarded, not just only in the physical component of the whole safety and health part, but also whenever they are on cyberspace, when the learning is taking place. So I think this needs a little bit of more exploration, and Hamdan Muhammad Smart University is totally ready to be able to take a part in this research, and I think it's especially after pandemic, the post-pandemic is going to be very important case that most of the businesses, as you know, today they case their file against the 11th chapter for bankruptcy, and they went all online. So today, in the near future, very near future, we need to be able to not just only to look forward for that by itself. Those criteria that Mr. Saleem has agreed to, that's really an innovation in this part of the world. That especially as we are, days pass. But in the future innovation, I think we need to have kind of the same measures of the safety and health within the cyberspace itself.
Perfect. Thank you, Doctor. Building on that, Paul, how has the pandemic affected your daily process? And what are the changes you have made in response to the restrictions due to COVID-19 crisis?
Well, like most parts of the world, here in New York City, there's been very little with regards to people congregating as normal. And, this pandemic will come and go, and others will come and go. I think everyone has certainly become accustomed to a heightened awareness of a very simple concept. And unfortunately, it took a global pandemic for us to realize this broadly, but it's the notion that what surrounds us matters. What we touch matters, what we breathe matters, how we gather indoors matters, and even more broadly, all of the elements around us, lighting, entering our circadian optic nerve impacts our mental acuity and cognition and energy levels and sleeping patterns. So the fundamental relationship between you and what surrounds you has been the core of the International Well-Building Institute and the evidence-based science and the approach to the well-building standard and the well health safety rating all along. Personally, I look forward to convening with people more broadly, but certainly the adjustments that have been needed to be made during this time have been made. And if any good can come out of this, it's to see great achievements, as Dr. Mansour mentioned, not only put in place as a baseline, the well health safety rating for the Smart University, but also the innovation that will come to continue to drive progress on understanding the connection between people and all of the elements that surround them, whether that's in the physical world or the cyber world as well.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Rachel, I just want to ask you, in HBMSU's case, what does having this seal reflect? And does it have an impact on the regional and global standing of HBMSU and the UAE?
Absolutely. The Well Health Safety Seal is a global mark of leadership. And as Dr. Mansour said, this really places the university at the top of its own game and as a model for many of its peers. The significance of the Well Health Safety Seal is that the latest science and research-based protocols have been followed, that the work has been rigorously reviewed and checked, validated and verified by a third party. And because the rating gets refreshed on an annual basis, that all of the protocols and the measures for safety and for health are being updated because, of course, the science is evolving and so is this virus. And so it's important to stay atop of all of those developments. IWBI helps with a lot of that work to make sure that the science is regularly reviewed. We've got a team of people in-house that are consuming every piece of research that comes online and updating our standards to take a lot of that work out of it for the university and our global community of users and allow you to focus on adopting those practices, incorporating them into your operations and your management, and focusing on your students.
That's good, thank you. So my last question for today's event is to Saleem. Saleem, how will the university's achievement impact the MENA region as a world counter to the pandemic?
Thank you, Mr. Riyad. Well, again, this movement has been in 82 countries, and HBMSU is the first in the Middle East. Hamdan bin Muhammad Smart University has really positioned itself as a pioneer and leader, as Rachel just mentioned, in the healthy building movement, by really activating its own building to ensure health and safety for its students, faculty, staff, and really everyone that visits the university's campus. I'm sure that other universities locally and regionally would look at HBMSU as a leader and will want to do the same thing. So the university is really setting up an example for others to actually help other universities and educational institutions to make the right choices and to do the right thing on their campuses to ensure health and safety of the people inside these buildings. So we would like to thank HBMSU for actually playing that role.
Perfect. Thank you, Saleem. Thank you so much to our speakers for talking about the significance of the well health safety rating with us today.
Mr. Iyad,
I'm sure, yes, please, Doctor.
I would just to go ahead with the comments that Mr. Saleem has made just now. I think what we will be doing, Mr. Paul, Rachel, as well as Mr. Saleem, we are going to be able to do this introductory of the rating that the university got into a learning object for all learners who are joining HBMSU at different levels of learning. Because currently the HBMSU also offering its programs into Egypt, in Alexandria University in Alexandria. And I think HBMSU is committed, Paul and Rachel and Saleem, for continuing pulling this particular notion of well-being and health and safety within the learning environment, within the education community of education across the Arab world. And I think we are in much more need that not just only that we are as HBMSU a tiny, small university is, but we are looking onto a bigger community of universities which are traditional with the huge buildings and landscape. So I think we need to put as an ambassador for IWBI to the universities in the Arab world. And I think this needs lots of work. I know Engineer Ala from our side is getting a little bit irritated when he hears me talking like this right now. But I think this is the way ahead. And unless we will do that, we will not be in a position that say, well, we are an exemplar, we are leading, we are the first. This first is not matter of, although it's a pride, although it's an achievement, but it will not end up by this. So HBMSU is committed to innovate ways that we can convey the message throughout the education community. So I think our next thing would be, because the new master's level of change and innovation management will start in Alexandria in mid of March, and I'm making sure with our people who are working in Alexandria that a short video on well-being buildings, and because over there they are doing blended model, Paul and Rachel. So there are 50% is inside on campus and 50% online. It's a hybrid model. So that means that even the space that they should be in, that take care, once this space will be belonging to HBMSU, it must align and it must be in accordance to the level of the quality that we have got this rating. It has to be at that hall as well. So I think we will become ambassador of the quality measures when life is concerned, when the quality of life is concerned, with health and safety is concerned. So that is our commitment at HBMSU.
Dr. Mansour, that's very well said, and we thank you for your leadership and commitment. And as mentioned, it's one thing to be first, and that's a very great thing to celebrate, but the meaningful impact is setting by example so others can adopt as well. And we look forward to collaborating with you on all of this.
I will just add one thing, Mr. Iyad, because I know that this was Dr. Mansour's priority on our previous call. Dr. Mansour, I would like to highlight that we're getting very close with Dr. Fahad and his team to introduce the Well AP course at HBMSU. That's just like we're working on the last final things. I know that that was one of the priority things that you wanted to introduce personally at the university. So just wanted to let you know that it's getting.
No, with no doubt. That without no doubt. What I'm trying to say is a little bit different from the training course itself. I'm trying to promote the showcase that Hamdan bin Muhammad Smart University has to other universities, top management level. Because I'm not looking just only for the students. I'm looking for the leadership of those organizations to believe in. Because that is our role, that's our mission in the next couple of years.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So thank you so much. On this note, I will conclude the event. Again, thank you everyone for your attention and time, and have a lovely day ahead. Thank you so much.
Mr. Iyad, I think I'm going to nominate you for being a moderator because you're very strict in times, which I like. Really, it's half an hour exactly now. So well done. Well done, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Stay safe.
Thank you. Stay safe. Bye-bye. Thank you.